getting down to just a week before the weddings. I'm guessing that the weddings will start next episode, and I feel like a lot of these couples still have so much more they need to explore before we get to wedding days. We spent a lot of time this episode shopping for wedding dresses, shopping for tuxes, Nick and Danielle going to buy their wedding cake, that I feel like this rushed wedding and them having to do at least some of the planning really takes away from these couples getting an opportunity to get to know each other on the level that they need to in order to be saying yes or to be making the best decision for themselves on the wedding. Let's jump into our couples. First up, Natalie and Shane. Shane, first off, he did a great job with Natalie's parents. Her mom was very hesitant, still hesitant at the end, but way more open to the idea of her daughter getting married to a virtual stranger in just I think at that point 10 days time. Obviously Natalie was worried about all of that, but it went very well and I think ended positive. Shane, he's just got this personality that he's loud, he's boisterous, but he's got some really kind parts to him. I know that we've seen the other side of Shane where he's maybe not so kind, but I think it's those qualities and that side of him that Natalie is really drawn to. We also got to meet Shane's mom, and she just seemed like a lady who wants her son to be happy. I don't really have much more to say than that. Always so awesome when families, friends, whoever it is on these shows comes in with a loving, positive attitude, and that's exactly what we got from Shane's mom. Also appreciated that Natalie had her mom and Shane's mom with her when she went wedding shopping. I just think doing things like that is very thoughtful and leaves a pretty good impression heading into the wedding. Let's jump over to our next couple, Mallory and Salvador. So we start the episode with them having had a fight off camera. Apparently, Salvador's ex showed up at his sister's place and went on some sort of tirade of we didn't get the details of what exactly happened. We don't know. So what I could kind of piece together was that Salvador was hooking up with someone before going into the pods, and in Salvador's mind it wasn't anything serious, but you never know. We don't have the whole situation. It's easy to jump to conclusions here, but so many different things could have happened. Many reality shows, we see somebody goes on, the ex finds out, so they go and try to insert themselves into the show so they can get on TV. That could be the situation. Salvador could have misled this woman. Maybe he didn't have any intentions of it being serious, but maybe for her it was. But we don't know. So hard to pass judgment on this situation when we just don't have we don't have enough info. One thing that did stick out to me was that he had been waiting for a year before heading to the pods. So they had told him, don't put your life on hold, but what's he supposed to do? Just not look for anything for the year. And maybe that is what they expected. Maybe that is what he should have done, but wasn't what happened. Other thing I wanted to touch on, we kind of got a little snippet that maybe Mallory's mom and sister don't want to be part of the wedding. And I think that that is a huge mistake on their part. You never want to be the person to say, I told you so after someone's relationship failed, because in a lot of cases, you're actively contributing to that outcome, which isn't fair to the people involved. And if they decide to boycott the wedding, it could set up a rift but in their relationship that could have very lasting consequences. All right, next couple, Deepti and Shake. Shake has been holding back on the physical side all season long. And, you know, in a relationship, everything can be great and the sex not be great, and you can still have a great relationship. I think he's putting way too much emphasis on the physical side, on that, what he keeps calling animalistic attraction, because think 20, 30 years down the road, that's going to change. But your emotional side of things, that emotional connection is still going to be here. So I think that they do need to have a physical side, because right now it sounds like they just don't. But to me, that emotional connection is so much more important. And if this is something that Shake backs out on, I think it's going to be a decision that he regrets for the rest of his life. And then at this point where we keep hearing Shake basically say that he's not attracted to Deepti, it's got to be hard for her to not take that personally on some level. Basically, your fiance saying that you are not attractive, hard for her not to take that personally, and hard for that not to have an impact on their relationship. Hopefully they can get that sorted out in the next week, but I'm not very optimistic at this point. Next up, Ayanna and Jarrett. I honestly feel like they could be a good couple, that they could have a successful marriage, but really it feels like to me 1 week is not enough time for this couple. 1 week is not enough time for them to learn about who they are, how their lives mix together, for especially Jarrett to start making the necessary adjustments in his life to accommodate for having that lifelong partner, because right now it doesn't seem like he's open or willing to do the things necessary to be ready for this in 1 week. And then Jarrett shares his hesitations tonight about the financial side of things and Ayanna going to get her master's in Google certificate. Well, Jarrett, I've got news for you. She's doing those things with or without you. So if you say no, and that's the thing that holds it up, she's still going to do those things. If you say yes and decide that you want to jump in head first into that situation, she's still going to get that master's. You know, that's not your decision whether she's going to go back to get her master's. That's a decision she's already made and is going to do. Let's jump over to our last couple, Danielle and Nick. Oh, I'm not a fan of Danielle's mom. Did you hear like the little backhanded compliment? It's like, oh, you'd like this dress. It's flattering. It's flattering. You know, that's not a compliment. That's basically saying that her mom thinks that Danielle should be a little bit ashamed of her body, that her body isn't good enough. And, you know, that's pretty clearly the source of Danielle's insecurities. There she comes straight from her mother, the way that she talks to and about Danielle. It's gross to me. And for somebody who claims to have this great psychology background, well, you don't put it to use very well with the way you treat your daughter. End of the episode, these two had a fight. Nick apparently didn't like that Danielle went out without him while he had to stay home. And then Danielle, wasn't happy that he was upset. And I'm sitting there thinking, we're only a few weeks ago that Danielle almost blew up the marriage because Nick went to a group function that was filmed while she was sick in the bedroom. So I'm like, which is it? So it's okay for the other person to go out, or it's not, because Danielle can't just have it that it's okay for her to go out and do things without Nick, but it's not okay for Nick to go out and do things without her. At this point, I just think that there are too many problems for this couple for them to have things work out if in just 1 week. Yeah, some of these fights that they're having just get blown way out of proportion for something that at best should be just a brief conversation. We're talking about, hey, I didn't like that you went out without me, and I would really like it if you invited me to go with you. Was that so hard? Because in the diary room, that's basically what Nick said. Said like, hey, I'd like to be invited to go with you. Or I'd like to have us to carve out a little more time to just spend together. So he's not saying don't do those things. He's saying like, include me. Like, let me make the decision whether I want to come or not. Don't just go without me. Yeah, not too confident here on these two. Too many, like I said, too many issues, and only a week to resolve them all. Okay, that's going to be it for me this episode. One more episode this week, and I'm going to jump over and crush through that so I can have the whole weekend to do nothing. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we will see you later.